The other day, I put out a video talking about these politicians like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, who are obviously getting too old for the job. And in that video, I talked about how much I respect older people. And I talked about how important wisdom is. But at the same time, if you have a politician in office that is getting to the point that their mind is deteriorating, kind of like what we saw with Joe Biden, I think, at some point we have to kind of pull the plug on some of these politicians. If you've seen Nancy Pelosi hobbling around lately on her walker, you would know, hey, maybe it's time for you to retire. Go sit on a swing somewhere, drink a cup of coffee, do something. You don't need to be in here making decisions for our country anymore. And listen, some people think that when you say things like that, that you're just talking about the Democratic Party. Maybe other people are just talking about the Democratic Party, but I will be the first person to tell you, and I've already said it in past videos as well. People like Mitch McConnell, they need to go. The dude literally has these weird episodes these days where he will just go up to a podium and freeze. He will literally just freeze. And lately he's been tripping and falling all over the place. And just to be honest, it's embarrassing. It's especially embarrassing because I'm thinking about the rest of the world who are looking at our leaders, and we have these old, decrepit leaders that are falling all over the place, and it's not a good look. And there's no way to shape it as if it is a good look. But ironically enough, today, Donald Trump was answering questions for the press because Mitch McConnell, he voted against RFK Jr. Mitch McConnell voted against RFK Jr. So you see people like Mitch, he actively goes against MAGA and Trump, even though he's a Republican. And as I was just explaining, this dude is he's gone. He's gone mentally. They still manage to throw him in front of a microphone every now and then. But it's clear as day this guy should have retired literally years ago. And I can't think of any other place of work where people who are in this mental state continue to work. I don't even think Mitch McConnell is fit to be a Walmart greeter, let alone one of the leaders of the Republican Party. But as I was saying, Trump was answering questions for the press today after RFK was confirmed. And they asked him a few questions about Mitch McConnell. And Trump, he's going to be honest. He's going to be blunt and honest. And he was. He roasted Mitch McConnell. Go ahead and listen for yourself.
RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that led. He wanted to go to the end and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even, and that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money and he gave a lot of money to senators, and so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader you could raise a lot of money. Senators would call me and they say, he wants to give me 25 million. Can I take it? I'd say, take the money. But he engendered a certain amount of, I don't even call it loyalty. He, was able to get votes. But I was the one that got him to drop out of the leadership position. So he can't love me, but he's not voting against Bobby. He's voting against me, but that's all right. He endorsed me. Do you know that Mitch endorsed me, right?
Well, he did.
You think that was easy? What?
He had polio, obviously, and
I don't know anything about he had polio.
Are you doubting that he had polio?
I have no idea if he had polio. All I can tell you about him is that he shouldn't have been leader. He knows that. He voted against Bobby. He votes against almost everything now. He's a very bitter guy, and we have a very strong party, and he's almost not even really a very powerful member. I'd say he's not a he's lost his power, and it's affected his vote. And it's one of those things. But in the meantime, Bobby did great, got more votes than anybody thought, and I think he's going to do phenomenally, just phenomenally in that position. And everybody else likewise did well. Not only well, they got more votes than anybody thought. Tulsi, look at how she did. She did great.
I love the transparency and honesty that we get from Trump. Like, sometimes he even says stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, but I love knowing that I know where his mind is at. With any other president in my lifetime, I didn't know what he really thought, what his true opinions were on things. They come out there with their pre-planned speeches. They answer a few pre-planned questions from journalists that they pre-pick to make sure they don't get any hardball questions. You guys know how it goes, or maybe you forgot what we just dealt with for the last 4 years, where literally Joe Biden will come out, mumble a few words, and then shuffle off stage before answering any questions at all. No, Trump literally sits in the Oval Office, invites hella press and journalists and media into the Oval Office, and he just answers whatever questions they want, says whatever he wants, and he just goes right off the top of the head. These aren't planned speeches or planned answers, no. He just answers truthfully how he feels. And you might not like it, and you might love it, but either way, you know where he stands and you know what you're getting. Honesty and transparency, which is much more than anyone here watching this video has gotten from any president in their lifetime. And that's just being honest. Even if you don't like Trump, if you don't like what he says, you don't like his decisions, at the very least, Trump is going to tell you what he's going to do and what he intends on doing. He doesn't hide anything. He doesn't have some tricks up his sleeve. No, it's right all out there in the open. Just like how he feels about Mitch McConnell. He doesn't have to say nice words. He doesn't give you a pre-planned message. He just goes right off the top of the head. And he's honest. Mitch McConnell, he's not fit to be doing the job that he's doing. He needs to be out of there. And there's a lot of other members of our government that need to be out of there. We shouldn't have members of Congress and stuff dying of old age while still being members of Congress, while still working within our government. At some point, we have to cut these people off, especially if they're not mentally fit. But hey, you let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.